dust and get this dream rolling.
From the land of crab cakes and purple pride, left Maryland behind for that castle ride. Now he's baking up joy in the Florida sun, with a sprinkle of faith and a whole lot of fun. He's the Disney baker, making hearts rise high, with a pin in his hand and a sparkle in his eye. From Main Street smiles to magical streams, he's stirring up Disney and chasing big dreams. Called peace, love, and a pixie dust hug. If you're feeling low, come and get unplugged. Let the laughter rise and the worries fall down. We're trading some pins and turning things around. He's got Mickey on the mic and pins to share, and friends by his side with love in the air. You never know who's gonna drop by the stream, but we're rolling with magic. Team Dream Team. Y'all, this one glows in the dark, but I might need just one more churro. Hey, have you hugged a cast member today? On the hard days when the smile's a little late, he's lifting hearts up with a little bit of faith. Encouraging words and laughter that stays like a hug wrapped in cinnamon glaze. Oh, he's the Disney baker with a heart so wide. We're spreading joy coast to coast like a magic carpet ride. From Epcot nights to pinboard thrills, he's chasing dreams through castle-filled hills. Oh, peace, love, and a pixie dust hug. Till we meet in person, you're never unplugged. So wave goodbye with a smile and a wow, 'cause the baker's magic is here and now.
TTFN, ta-ta for now. Peace, love, and pixie dust hugs.
Pixie dust, well,
We'll have to do until we meet in person.
The fun starts in 3, 2, 1.
Well, there it is. I'll tell you, if I did this every day, everything would just run perfect. Welcome in, everybody. I am Chris the Disney Baker. Welcome to the Pin Lair. And I'm only saying that for this song. How did you get it done? Oh, thanks, VP. That was all Katie. Just hand claps and hearts in the chat for Katie. She did that, and she's amazing. What I did the other day is something that I did 2 weeks ago, too, a week and a half ago, is I made it up on my phone, and I forgot to put it in StreamYard. So then I went back in StreamYard 20 minutes before the show, and I said to Katie, I said, I just don't know which one to delete. And she goes, well, wait till it gets started. So then I went over here to this other screen, and I just clicked it in, and I'm like, okay, well, let's see what happens. And here we are. So everything's working great. Oh, let me say hi to everybody. Hey, Mark from Virginia, what's going on? I appreciate. Hey, if you do replay, that's fantastic too. It's good to see you, VP. I saw you on your son's new Insta, and he was interviewing you. I like that. That was pretty cool. Hey, Jason, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. This is a last minute thing, but we're going to talk about pins. We're going to talk about pins and pin framing and what I've got coming up this coming Saturday, which I'm sure Adventures with VP is aware of. VP knows that I go to a pin trading event here in Orlando, and it is actually organized by Richard, the Figment Pin guy, and it's here in Orlando. And I've actually signed up for a bunch of months this year, and this month, February 14th, this Saturday, will be my first table there, and I'll be there. It is right there, the Figment Guy pins, February 14th, 9 to 5. Yes, we're about to screenshot that and just click, and it's local here, so it's great. They have featured vendors. There's more featured vendors than that most of the time, and Julie sent that over to me today so I could show everybody, and it's really nice with the hearts and everything. So I'll be there with my frames. That's the key. The key thing I'm going to do now is I really want to put emphasis on my pin frames. I've got a lot of people in, not a lot. I've had a few people that watch my streams and talk to me about pin frames, and I responded back to them. Tina, T Marie's Place was just the last one, and I have to get pictures over to her, especially before Saturday, because if she wants some of the ones that I have pictures of, that I can just pull them out of the box. Same with Stephanie Keel, and Theo has bought some pin frames from me. Pete McDevitt has pin frames. Katie has pin frames, a pin frame of mine. Little Debbie has a pin frame of mine. So a couple of people, and there's Theo right there. Yep. And hey, Jacob Montgomery, welcome in. What's happening? How are you? So hey, Jennifer Craig, what's going on? Thanks for being here. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be focused on. We're going to be talking about pins today. I have my pin shirt on, and I will tell you, I looked for my 50th anniversary shirt because we're going to be looking at some 50th anniversary pins. I don't know if you all were pin traders back then, but we're going to have some pins maybe you haven't seen before that are 50th anniversary. I literally went through 2 of my totes and went through and got a lot of pins out so you all could see what they look like then and what they look like now. And it was very interesting. So what I did is I set up a little side camera here, and I have to like click on something different here, and then it'll go over, and that will kind of be the picture, and you can see it there. And I can't do dual cameras on here. That's the only thing I wish I could do. I wish I could do dual cameras. And we are something that's really cool with StreamYard now. If you're not familiar with StreamYard, hello everyone. That is vertical, horizontal. Yeah, horizontal, vertical. Everybody is vertical. How are you? I have to remember to scooch my chair over because I have 2 screens here that I can look at, and I see my vertical and I see my horizontal, and it says hide the vertical. I don't want to hide it because when I start showing pins, I want them to see the pins also. So that's really important to what we're doing here. Nanny Pooh Bear, what's going on? How are you? So yeah, it's been, what are we going to talk about? Well, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. And if you guys want to talk about anything, please chime in and talk about it. We talk about a bunch of Disney stuff, talk about a bunch of pins. If you are a pin collector and you are or have been to the parks recently within the 25th anniversary, there was a wave A and there was a wave B, and coming up is a wave C. I've just started trading for wave B. I haven't purchased any wave B, but I started trading for wave B. I've completed my set for wave A, so that's all done. And I'll slowly collect wave B, and we'll see how that goes too. Let's talk about Baker's shirt. Yeah, this is the 50th and no, I'm sorry. This is the 25th anniversary of pin trading. And right there it says, you know, pin trading started in 2000. And here we have that pin. I have that pin up here. And it's a pretty cool pin. But pin trading started in 2000. And actually pin trading started a little earlier than 2000. But the exact date I don't have. But it's been going on ever since. So we're 25 years in. And this is the shirt that they came out with this year. I think it's cool. It's got like just I pin trade and a whole bunch of pins. I've actually taken it off and looked, you know, and picked out a couple of pins. I have that one. I have that one. I have that one. So that's baking frosted vanilla sugar for my son. Whoa, that sounds yummy. Valentine's sugar. Careful of sugar. Sugar gets hot. And so we're going to be doing that. And we're going to talk about pin frames. How do you display your pins? There's a lot of different ways you can display your pins. Sugar cookies. I hope it's sugar cookies. I like sugar cookies. As you can see, I can do a little twist here. I've got a bunch of different ways I display my pins. I have my pin frames here on the wall. I actually moved one out of a box today. And we'll just talk about this one real quick. This one I actually have hanging up on my wall right there. But for the show, I took it down, and I just want to, I'm going to take this one with me to the show and explain, this is how you look, you know, put your pins, display your pins. you know, but this one started out just being all Mickeys, and then I put Walt in the middle. I really like the monorail pin here with Mickey standing next to it. I have a pin trading pin on here. I have a Chef Mickey's on here. I have a Dracula Mickey on here. A bunch of different ones. Steamboat Willie, which is a pin from Visa. So that's a Visa pin. And then there's an Easter pin up here. There's a cast member pin at the top. So these pins are, you know, I really like these pins, and I just figured I'd start them out like this. This is on a 19, I believe it was, I have to check the date. I believe it was 1950s or resin frames. This is a resin frame. So this is a molded frame. And the way I found out that this actually had some gold leaf on it. And as I was heating up and using a steamer to get some of the paint off, to remove some of the paint, I noticed it was coming off in flakes. So I did a little bit of research and I stopped. And I found out that this was a resin board. So I stopped using a little bit of paint remover that I was using because it started to melt the resin. And I stopped using the steamer. And then I just did it with a little like scrub brush and took all the gold flake off. And it has a red velvet backing. It's kind of dimmed out, but it's an old pin frame. And if I could look at, there is a sticker on the back of here, original sticker. And let's see if I can read what that says. It says Studio. And that's all I can make out of it. But I left it on there. But anywho, this was a picture frame. And I transferred it over into a pin frame. And the way I do that is I use black velvet on top of corkboard, on top of another proprietary material that I use that actually locks your pins in, so your pins don't fall off when you shake them. And that's it. One's clanking in here. I don't know which one's clanking, but yeah, so they stay on. So usually and this has a nice little stand on it, so I can set it back here. And usually when I set my pins, I'll lay out, you know, the diameter you get a big beach towel you can put on your dining room table and get some painter's tape and put painter's tape around it, which will be the size of your frame. And then you just take your pins and start laying them on the towel, the beach towel or blanket or whatever you want to use with some painter's tape, and then transfer them from there right onto your frame. Or you could do it any way you like. But let me just go back in here and say hi. MD. I was talking to Katie before we started. I was like, bifocals. Those are something else. It's almost like I have to get a, you know, MD Salem, WR9PS. What's going on? Welcome in. I don't know what the wow was about, but wow. I guess that was me showing you my frame. Welcome in. Glad you're here. First time here. And so I'll be showing a lot of frames, and your frames, however you want to display your frames. I just grabbed a little 5x7 picture frame here. This is just a regular picture frame. And when I start making up some more frames, I'm going to turn this one into a pin frame. It has a flat black velvet backing. Okay. And it has those little spinners that you just turn, and then the whole backing comes off and you put your picture in, and then you put that little piece of cardboard or paper behind your picture, and then your picture stays in there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece of glass out. I'll measure my materials, and I'll make this into a small pin frame. And I have that sitting over here just to remind me to show you guys. And what that will look like, let me reach up here. And this is a finished. This one's a little bit bigger. This this outside edge is pretty big, but the inside is 5 inches by 7 inches. And this one is totally completely finished and ready to go. So if you have your pin, let me just I'll just grab this Figment eye pin. It just happens to be sitting here, my Figment eye pin. And then you push your pin into your frame. And that's the start of putting your collection on a frame. You may have a bunch of maybe princess pins or maybe some ride pins or even resort pins that you might just want to keep together, or some pins that you just traded from one trip that you want to keep together because they meant a lot. And then you could do that. You could put them on here. And it's all, let me just take a couple pins here and just show you how, when you get a couple on there, how it looks. I have a Soarin' pin here, and I'll put this right up at the top. And then I have a Disney World pin here, and I'll just put this one down at the bottom. And then I'll get my Figment eyes and put him up here. And then I have a Buzz Lightyear pin here. I have a couple pins just laying across my deck here. And it's just that simple. You know, you just go crazy with it, you know. And if you don't like the way it looks, you can change it later. And I put a couple pins on there. So I have the pin trading pin with a hidden Mickey, and there's a Buzz Lightyear with a hidden Mickey. And then there's, of course, Figment. And then we have Soarin'. And then we have the Walt Disney World pin. And then if you want to change them, just lift them right off and start over. You didn't like the way you put them on there the first time. So something like this transferred over. This is $35. If anyone was wondering how much. Hey Robert, welcome in. Thanks for being here. So this one would be $35. So looking at some pins, let me set this back over here. I'll show you one more. That one was $35. This one is actually a plate frame. People collect plates. There's a couple different companies out there that make these really special plates. And I'm trying to think of the one artist that makes them. Norman Rockwell artist, a company makes his plates. And this is actually a plate frame. I've actually transferred it over and made it into a pin frame. It comes with this really pretty hanger on top. So you can just put your little hanger on top. It does actually come with a flip down tab. There's a flip down tab right there. So you can put your hanger on there and it'll hang on your wall. And that just gives a little decorative look at the top. And then the back of it, I put Lawan. This is wood, the piece of Lawan, and then I stained it. And I actually stained it cherry because the outside was cherry, but it didn't turn too cherry. I think because the Lawan was a little bit on the yellowish side. But this is, I call this an 8-inch cherry round, and these sell for $40. And they're 8-inch rounds. So those are some of the small frames. Well, let's talk about some pins. Let's talk about pins. Wow. All right. So most pins, when you're trading in the parks, if anybody has any questions, please, bring up a question and put like Robert's from Canada. Welcome in. Put up like something in the description in your chat. So I'll make sure I see it. So if you have to ask a question, I can answer it. So most people, they'll go to the parks and they'll get a pin lanyard such as this. This is a 50th anniversary pin lanyard. I just have to pull it out of my box, and they put their pins on it, and they go through the park, and they hello Nicole, welcome in, hi, and this is how they wear their lanyard through the park. And this is a two-sided one. And it has the 50th anniversary decorations on one side And then it has the 50th anniversary castle. It says Walt Disney World on the other side. And that was for the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World, October 1st, 1971. And this has a quick release because a lot of people like using the bottom tab. They can put little, oh my gosh, do I have one sitting here? I don't believe I have one sitting here. You can buy little icons and stuff that hang from the bottom of these. The girls, some of the Loungeflies have them too. They have these little clip-ons you put on here. So you can put a bunch of different things on there. Let me scroll right over here. 1 second. I have one right here. And this one just happens to be from Soarin'. And what you do is it has this little handy dandy clip at the top. And all you do is when this is connected to your lanyard, you can just clip that right on the back. And if you like Mickey, and then it just hangs. And it just hangs from your neck. Kelly in the Parks. Hi, Kelly. How are you? One of my good friends, Kelly. So, yep. And then that's the way people trade in the park. And there's new ways of trading in the park. If you don't want to do that, we have a really, really popular company called GoPinPro here. And Pin HQ, let me just get down this. So we have Pin HQ is here local in Orlando. So you can go to 100 Acre Woods. Welcome in. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. That was for you and Nanny Pooh Bear. So this, I stopped in there this week and checked out some of the new things that they have. And they sell these nice little boards. And I've never measured one of these boards. So let's measure this board. This is almost 5 inches, 5 by 3.5 inches. And what you do with these is you put your pins right on them. Just take your pin, put your pin right on it. It makes trading in the park so easy. Let me show you one I have always set up for trading. I've got a couple of them set up for trading. Hello, welcome in everybody. A couple of them set up for trading right there. And the nice thing about these is you can put them on both sides. I traded for that one the other day. I haven't taken that one off yet. Avengers. Yes, I traded that one the other day. Yep, traded for that one. And I traded for this little fairy at the top on this one. And then I put some Aladdin pins on there from Aladdin. Hello, Regina Erie. Welcome in. Thanks for being here. Is that A backwards? That A looks backwards. Maybe if I flip it around. You guys are seeing it the right way. So yeah, so as you go through the parks, you can just keep these in your pocket. And most of those lugs, the lugs that Disney makes now, these fit perfectly in the lugs. But you can go on Pin HQ and look for the holders that they have for these. They have small holders for these too. But the nice thing is about it is you can put your pins on it. You don't have to carry around these little rubber backs. You just put your pins right on here and you go through the park trading. And they're pretty smooth. And then even when the pins are on them, they're smooth and they slide right in your pockets. So check those out if that's what interests you, if you're pin trading in the parks, or a different way to just display your pins. They have all different sizes, all different bags. They have a bag that's much bigger and has a shoulder strap on it right here. And this actually has 3. So you have this here. You can open up your zipper pouch here and you can push your pins right there on there. And then you have a zipper that closes these up. They close that up. And then you have another zipper that opens it up. And then you have a plastic, like little door here to protect your pins so they don't scratch each other. And as if you can look on here, I've got some amazing pins there, a couple chasers. Yep. So, and this is a little bit bigger. And I will tell you, if you guesstimate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you go 5 across, that's 35, 3, 6, 9. That's 100. You can get 105 pins maybe on here. You put 105 pins on here, I will tell you one thing. You're going to be just maneuvering it a little bit because 105 pins gets quite heavy. And it's got a nice zipper in the back. So you can drop your specialty cards. I have some specialty cards in here. I have a specialty pin. I always keep a specialty pin in the back here just to give a cast member, if they're doing, that's my specialty pin. If I see a cast member going up in above what they do, I'll just sneak them a pin and say, here you go. This is for being an amazing cast member. Any Tinkerbell pins? Mr. Tinkerbell. Oh my gosh. I have Tinkerbell pins, but she's way back there. She's way back there and I can't reach it. But I have a lanyard that has Tinkerbell pins. Yes, I do. If it wasn't for Tinkerbell, I wouldn't be able to fly. But yeah, so let's look at some of the 50th anniversary pins. So what I'm going to do is not have my face on here. We're going to go to camera number 2 and we're going to look at some pins. And then what I'll do is I'm going to take my chat and make my chat pop out. That way I can see chat really good. There we go. Our Ohana Journey, welcome in. Josh and Amy. Thanks for coming in, guys. So that sounds heavy. It is heavy. But again, I don't usually load it down with that many pins, Nanny. Not often at all. So let's switch over to this other webcam I have. And it's going to show you. And again, we need to make sure that the people that are using vertical today, and let me go back into chat because I think a couple of my friends, and it's cool because in my chat now, I can see who is vertical if someone is vertical. And that just reminds me that, hey, make sure you're showing them what they want to see because yep, Jason's vertical. Thank you, Jason. Appreciate it. So this is one that I have. I'm just using this as I use this to set up today to make sure we had a good lighting and to make sure that you all could see it. All right, so we're going to pretty much keep that there. And this is Goofy at a Epcot International Food and Wine. But we'll just go ahead and pop that off. And we're just going to look at some 50th anniversary pins. Let's start out with the date. Let me move my camera a little bit closer to me. Let's start out with the date. Much better. So this was one of the pins that they had out early. And I'm seeing this backwards. Are you all seeing this the right way? Let me look over here. Hold on. Yeah, you guys are seeing it fine. I see it backwards, but that's okay. All right. You do both, Nanny. Okay, well, that's cool. So this pin was actually released on October 1st, 2021. So if you were lucky enough to be in the parks that day for the 50th anniversary, hey, Cakes, welcome in. Thanks, bud. Appreciate it. So I had the opportunity to, I was making magic then. I was making magic in the Emporium and had that day off and met up with some friends, met up with Arlene and VP, and my wife was with me. And then later in the day, we met up with Josh and Amy, friends of ours, our Ohana Journey, and our other friend Gonzo. And so this was one of the pins that I got that day. And this is pretty cool because it kind of has the line through it to represent October 1st, 1971, and then October 1st, 2021. So, yeah, not a hard pin to know it. Yeah, right. That's a fact. Yep. So Now these on the bottom, these said limited release, not limited edition. All right, so they knew they were only going to make a couple of those. All right, we're going to keep going with that style. We'll do another limited release pin that I didn't get this one until later, and I found this one, and I tell you what, I was just head over heels when I found this one. I was like, this is really cool. And see if I get the correct lighting on that. It's dark blue. There you go. And let me pick it up and I can read it on the bottom. It says, this is a pass holder. Walt Disney World. It says October 1st, 2021. And then it just says 1971. And it says Walt Disney World pass holder. So this was a limited release pass holder pin. And it came on this decorative card with the illuminated, they called it iridescent 50th anniversary castle on there. And they did the pins up really nice for the 50th. And at the top of this pin, coming off the top of the pin, if you can see it, is actually the top of the castle. All right, and next one up. This one is in plastic. I still have this one in plastic. I actually have one of these on one of my hats. But this one I have still in plastic. It's got the boss on there. And it says Walt Disney World. And let me read what it says. This is also a limited release. And it says on the bottom, the world's most magical celebration. That's what it says on the bottom of the pin. The world's most magical celebration. Let me just keep this going here, so our friends that are vertical can see. And that's a nice pin. I like the big 50, and it has the iridescent Mickey on it. Another one with the big 50, and this one is a limited edition. The last three you saw were limited release, and this is one of the limited editions. And this one was really, really special. I thought, I like the 5, I like the O, and I love the way they placed the castle in that. And Regina, this is why I said, you know, some of these you may have seen and some of these you may not have seen. A lot of these, even if it said limited release, they went pretty fast. The 50th was a big celebration that we celebrated. Not so much. I don't even want to say his name, but I'll just say we called him Paycheck, Bob Paycheck. We celebrated it, but yeah, some of these pins, they're hard to find. If you can Google them, you can Macari them and just see which ones. But I really like that one. The backer cards, I really like the backer cards. Here is one that I really liked. And when this one came out, I was actually this one came out, I think, day of, and I walked by it and saw it and didn't grab it. And I think it may have been Arlene or VP, and they said that's a pass holder pin, Baker, you should get that one. And then I went back and got it. So this is actually a pass holder pin too, and it has Mickey in the center of the castle. These, I purchased all these. If I didn't purchase something, let me see, is that a limited edition? No, that's a limited release. All these were purchased in Walt Disney World at Magic Kingdom. The funny thing is, we didn't think it was funny at the time, but if VP is still here, he'll agree with me. We had friends, and actually Josh and Amy were in Epcot that morning. That pass holder, yeah, it is very nice. And this is the Visa. This is the Disney Visa. If you had a Disney Visa card, you could get this pin, and it has the 50th castle on there, and it's really pretty. This is also a limited release, and thing was, and we didn't know it at the time until our friends said, hey, they're selling 50th anniversary stuff over here at Epcot. We thought the only thing 50th anniversary we could have bought was going to be at Magic Kingdom because Magic Kingdom was there. But Epcot wasn't there in 1971. So that kind of surprised us. But luckily we did have some friends that were over at Epcot and nice. They nicely picked up some things for us. And Amy says, did that come up? Here we go. They had all the merch. They didn't go to, nope. But they were nice enough to pick us up. I think I still have my Magic Band. I don't think I've ever worn it. 50th anniversary Magic Band. All right, moving right along. I got a lot of pins to show, so I'll go a little bit faster. This was the iridescent Mickey, and this came out, I think, a couple days after, or a couple weeks maybe after. This was the iridescent Mickey. Oh yeah, and Amy said it was very organized, not chaos like at Magic Kingdom. Correct. Magic Kingdom was pretty much chaos. I want to tell you a little bit something about this pin. So as I'm moving it, you can see the backer card, how reflective and iridescent the backer card is. But if you look at the pin, Mickey's got a kind of a blue iridescent to him in his colors. After this one came out where it was like a pinkish. And I have that one on my hat. And when I was pulling this out today, I noticed that. I'm like, wow, I didn't know there were two different kinds, but there are. This one has a blue hue to it, and there's one that has like a pinkish hue to it. So, yeah, he's all proud there. He got his little foot up, and he's getting ready to step off and have a good time. All right, so let's stick with the castle pins. This was a box pin that came out, and this is a pretty nice pin. This is about a 2.5, maybe a 3-inch pin of the castle. And these pins came out, and when they came out, they disappeared. They came out so fast. I literally bought both of these pins after the fact. I did not have an opportunity to buy these as they came out. And these are limited edition pins. And when they came out, the price on that is $40. They were $39.99. And I don't know to what limit number they are, but I know they are limited edition, and that's a nice size pin. And it's pretty. It is pretty. Now, it's got 2 sister pins that goes with it. I only have one of them, and I'm still looking for the other one. And here is one of the other pins. And I haven't opened these. I've yet to open these. These are not taped shut. Do they open? Here, let me pull one out of its box. It's never been out of its box. Oh my gosh, it does. It opens. Look at this. Look how pretty that is. And it opens. Let's open it up and see what it looks like. It's never been. It's a hinged pin. And I can't get my, oh my God. Oh my goodness. Wow. Look at that. I did not know this opens. Look how shiny that is. Oh, Cinderella. That's so pretty. See, that excites me. I like that. And there's the back part of it. And it just closes over and has this little piece of metal here and over here in the corner. Let me get my pointer out. Over here is a little tiny magnet. Oh, and it's actually it caught my pointer. See that? And then on here, they have to put a little strip of metal. And, oh, that's a magnet too. Look at that. That's a magnet. I can open and close that with my pointer. Look at that. All right. And it has some inscriptions on it. Let's read what these inscriptions are, say at the bottom. Okay, let me read that to you. It says Walt Disney World, the world's most magical celebration. And that is inscripted on the inside. Now that we have it out of the box, I'm glad I showed this to you guys. I did not even know that that opened up. Now we have it out of the box. I'm going to go ahead, take it off its backer card, and find out what the limited edition is. Oh, this is a tight backer card. These little Mickeys are really tight on the back of this pin. They've never been off. They've never been off. And there's 3 on here. So this pin actually has 3 backer cards. I mean, 3 Mickey backs on it. And let me just slowly take that off. And here is the back. And then on here, it's going to tell me what the limited edition number is. Limited edition 3? Yes, limited edition 3000. Made in Vietnam. Limited edition 3000. And I'm going to go ahead and put it back on its backer card to keep it pristine. How about that? So, you know what we have to do now? You know what we have to do now? What's up, Dave? Can't say. Oh, thanks for stopping in and saying hi. Appreciate that. I appreciate the like. Thank you so much. Dave Straglin, everyone. Good for you to pop in, Dave. I appreciate that. Thanks. So now that we've opened this one up, so here's the box. We're going to go ahead and slide this one back in the box. Good seeing you, Dave. And close that one up. Now this one, when this one sold, it was $40. If you are a Disney pin trader, you will know. And then we're going to open this one. We didn't open this one yet. Disney pins have increased in price. Now this one is taped shut. Okay, but the top is not. All right, so let's see if we can maneuver that. Where's my pointer? There's my pointer. We'll carefully open up the box. Sorry that you don't have anything to look at. So sorry. Here, we'll give you something to look at. We'll let you look at Mickey. This is a pin that I got from actually Goodwill.com. If you are looking for some pins, and if you didn't know Goodwill had a website, they sure do. Goodwill.com. That's where I got this one. All right, so here we go. Let's trade this pin out. This is the other Castle 50th anniversary Castle pin. Give you some looksies here, a couple different views, get some different. And then we're going to open her up. And it opens the same way, which is not easy because I don't have fingernails. All right. And we're going to open it up. And wow. Look at that. It's got clouds at the top. And it has Cinderella and Prince Charming. No, that was Snow White. Prince Eric? I don't remember. Prince Jason. Maybe we'll use that one. Who did Snow White? Who did Cinderella marry? Isn't that pretty? And the same thing, 50th celebration on the other side. Look at that. Is that not pretty? The clouds, the top. I love that. Who is her prince? Does anybody know? Hey there, Kay. Welcome in. Hey, Wilbury, everybody. Charming. Wait a minute. Was that Snow White? I thought Snow White had Charming. Anyway, I'm not going to get confused. I'm already confused. Prince Charming. It is Charming. All right. All my princesses are saying Charming, so I'll go with Charming. All the princesses are saying Charming. Prince Henry. Prince Henry. Prince Henry. All right, let's see. Now we're going to look at the back. And this has never been off its backer card before. And we'll see what the limited edition. Snow White and Cinderella's are both named Charming. Thank you, Kelly. Kelly's awesome. Big hug. All right, so let me look here. This is again, limited edition 3000. Limited edition 3000. There it goes. So that's very exciting that I know now that they open. So I'll note when I look for the third one, because there is 3 in this set, I'm just putting the backs back on here. When I look for that third one, and I look at the pin shows, like I said, I'll be at a pin show. I'll be at a pin show in Orlando this Saturday. Yes, I will. The Figment pin guy, Richard, is having a pin show, and I will have a table there selling my pin frames. And I may take a couple pins with me. I'm not sure. But I will also be selling Loungefly bags. So here is, thank you very much, Katie. Appreciate that. So here is a limited edition. Now, if you know anything about what was here in 1971, when Walt Disney World opened, there was the Contemporary, and there was it's on the tip of my tongue, Polynesian. And this pin, and I'm going to pull it back and look at it with my microscope. And this is a pin looking over the top of the poly. Well, we call the poly, which is the Polynesian. And this is a limited edition 50th anniversary pin too. So they had one of the poly, and they have one of the Contemporary. But I did not get the one that was the 50th anniversary of the Contemporary. I got one a little bit after that. I still like it though. So this is the Polynesian 50th anniversary. But this is not the 50th. This is a 50th anniversary pin, but it is not the limited edition. And this is of you can see the Contemporary there, which is the A-frame and the castle. And then they have a sailboat. But because yes, you could rent a sailboat back that time, and take a sailboat across the waters. You sure could. Baker will be there Saturday morning for oh, okay, great. You'll be there Saturday morning. Excellent. Okay, I'll bring your pins. I have your pins for you. And I know you have one for me. Another pin that came out during the 50th anniversary was this one. This is a Polynesian Village Resort pin. It has Mickey and Minnie on it. And it's a dangle. It's got a little dangle at the bottom. Polynesian Village Resort. And that was a 50th anniversary pin. And here is the one for the Contemporary 50th anniversary. It's a dangle also. It has the monorail. If you didn't know, the monorail does go through the Contemporary Resort. The king is only referred to as the king. That's true. They never said his name. Prince and Charming. I appreciate that, Amy. Thank you. And so that was a 50th anniversary pin, as well as these guys, Manny, Mo, and Jack. Not Manny, Mo, and Jack. It's Donald, Mickey, and Goofy. Look how Goofy's changed through the years. Here's Goofy, and then there's Mickey, and then there's Donald. And here's the cool thing about this, guys. And we're going to focus on Mickey now. I'm going to hold his bottom here. Look, their heads move. Their heads go back and forth. They're like little bobblehead pins. And these were sold 3 on this set. just like this. Old Mickey and old Donald and an old Goofy. When this sold for all three pins. Look at that price. $18, $17.99. Has the 50th anniversary symbol on it. So I've yet to make up a frame. I'm going to switch off for a second here. I have yet to make up a frame for my 50th anniversary pins. I'll need to find the perfect frame for my 50th anniversary pins. Now I'll get them all together and I'll do, like I said, I'll put a beach towel on the dining room table and get all my pins on there and kind of just shape them up. And I don't know how big of a frame I need or how small of a frame I'll need. I'll have to figure it out, but I definitely want it to be decadent. I want it to be really pretty on the outside, something really special. Hey, Serpon John, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Everyone that's here, I appreciate you so much. Hit that thumbs up button. Hey, do us a favor, share us out. It's some of the easiest ways to let people know that there is a pin trader live on YouTube, and that would be me. And getting in here to talk to you guys and everybody talking about Disney and everybody talking about pins, that's pretty special. So if you could share us out, I'd appreciate it. Thank you so much. And thanks for being here. And if you're new for the first time, consider subscribing to the channel. And if you're a member of the channel, thank you so much. And if you're considering to be a member, check that out too. So we got some stuff coming up, and this year has already started flying by. I've got so many pokers in the fire, it's unbelievable. So we're going to be doing a lot of different stuff. Go back and watch February 1st. That Sunday we were at Magic Kingdom, and it was 26 degrees. So that was a fun day. So if you're not sure, check that out. Maybe that'll lean you one way or the other. It was a pretty fun day. So, all right. So let's go back. I suppose Kelly in the parks, but do they actually call him Henry? I love that. It's good conversation. It's not everybody knows everything. Gosh knows I don't. All right. So let's go back into the pin camera, and we're going to look at some more pins from the 50th anniversary. And let's start out with this one. I thought this one was really cute only because I used to have a lunchbox. It wasn't a Disney lunchbox because we didn't do a whole bunch of Disney in my family, but I had a lunchbox. And I saw this pin come out, and it was a retro pin, and I liked it. And then when you opened it up, look at that. You got all the treats are in there. You got a Mickey waffle, you got popcorn, you got churros, you got a Mickey pretzel, and you got a Mickey ice cream. And I thought that was cool, so I added that to my list. This one was $17.99. Now, isn't that something? This one was $17.99 just for one pin. And all three of these pins were $17.99. Go figure. I think somebody maybe made a little mistake. All right, moving right along. All right, so they went back in the archives and they said, what was special back then? Well, there was a thimble back in 1971. And then there was a spoon collection that people would have. So thimble collections were very popular back then, spoon collections. So they went ahead and they made a pin set of this. And there you go. You have your pin. You have your thimble. And you have your spoon. Lunchbox in second grade. Yep. And see, and again, we do have 100 Acre Wood is vertical, so we're trying to make sure we show them the perfect picture when we show them this. Thank you so much for coming in and being both ways. I like both ways. I just have to remember to show both ways. Can somebody else tell me what is another name for a thimble? Ooh, trivia. What's another Disney name for a thimble? And Katie, you can't answer. Wait a minute. What did Katie say? Does it have moldy peanut butter sandwiches in there? Old lunchboxes always had the same smell. A kiss. Yes. Jennifer, correct. A kiss. That's right. And that was Tinkerbell and Peter Pan. No, not Tinkerbell. Wait, I know it. Don't tell me. Um, oh my gosh. I just spoke to her the other day. Oh my gosh, don't tell me. I'm not gonna look at the screen. I'm gonna say her name. Wendy. Wendy said that. Wendy gave Peter Pan a kiss. That's right. It's a thimble. All right, so yay. You didn't know that one. Okay. I didn't look at the screen, Nanny. I promise I didn't. All right, so this one is another this is a limited release. And this is the autograph book. And it's got the old Mickey and Minnie from Walt Disney World. And the difference is now is most pins that are made of Mickey and Minnie, they don't have tails on them because they said that the tails formed a point. Look at that. And it's their autographs. Mickey and Minnie. And Minnie uses hearts over top of her eye. And hug and a kiss and a hug and a kiss. And then it closes shut and has a little magnet there and keeps it shut. Bring back the good night kiss. I'm there with you. I'm sure you missed that when you were here, Theo. I agree. Bring back the good night kiss. All right, let's keep going on that same series. This is a limited release. Now these, I really like these pins. These were the retro pins that came out. And I like the way they did these. And I like that they made a round one. I thought that was pretty cool. And using the Walt Disney World D. And that was a 50th anniversary. And this was just limited release. Okay. And these had different ones. And then they came out with the license plate pin. This is the license. Oh, sorry. It's in a bag. This is still bagged up. Still in a little baggie. There we go. That's the license plate pin. And you could buy that license plate. Oh, Nanny, that's so cool. Yeah, it's pretty special. And before we move into the year pins, I'm going to show you some of the Been There series. So some pins came out with little tiny cappuccino cups, or not cappuccino cups. What do you call that when it's real strong coffee? Somebody will put it up in chat for me. So, and then they came out with these, and these actually, when you bought one of those little shots of coffee, those little cups, the Been There series, espresso. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Been There series, and thanks, Regina. You got a pin, and here's what the funny thing that happened: the pin sold out before the espresso cups sold out, and they're little tiny espresso cups. I've got 2 or 3 of the Magic Kingdom ones. So this is the Hollywood Studios Starbucks 50th anniversary. And then this is the Epcot. And somewhere, I know I have the Magic Kingdom, but I don't think I have the Animal Kingdom. So those are on my bucket list. I definitely want all 4 of them before I put these on the frames. And they're out there. You just have to find them. And a nice thing about these pin shows, you can trade for them. And people trade for them all the time. So that's how they look. A big thing is Starbucks was a big thing. So, and then this series came out. This series came out, I think, 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. This series was $35, and it's a 4-pin series. And you could buy all of these. And there's a Starbucks Magic Kingdom. These are retro, an Animal Kingdom, an Epcot with Figment, and then Hollywood Studios with, of course, Mickey with his hat. We love the Sorcerer's hat. we miss it. But somebody says something partial will be coming back. So this was a 4-pin pack that I purchased. And again, $48.99. $48.99. So it's $50. So most of the Disney pins now, I don't think there's a pin on card. I don't think there's a pin on card less than $14.99 now. This was a 4-pin set that was out there for $17.99. They're smaller pins, but this is part of the 50th. These came out. These are just, they're all have a gold backing to them, but the television has a like a plastic cover on it. I'm trying to get you guys to see a good look at the TV. There it is. And it's from the television show. And then there's a little VHS tape. And then there's a Mickey with a silver heart. And then there's one at the bottom. And it says Disney Everything. Where's my magnifying glass? I set it down. Yep. Disney Everything. What it says at the bottom. But that was a nice set. I like that. All right, so now let's get into the specialty pins. The specialty pins, he says. Let's get into the specialty pins. Okay, so specialty pins. How many different types were there? There were a lot. So this one, maybe I should do them. This one says, it's time to remember the magic. And this is a pin on pin. And I don't know what year they were portraying here. Let me show it to you though. And these are limited edition pins. It's time to remember the magic. And that's a pretty pin. And it's got Minnie and Mickey on there. It's got the ribbons. It's a big celebration. So what they did is they brought these out. Hello, Nicholas Sargent. Sargent, what? How are you? Welcome in. Again, thanks for being here. And we're going to make sure Nick can see this with his vertical view. Yep. Close up of that. And then they had 5 others. And this was from the 20th celebration, 20 years. And this one says at the bottom, it says magical years, 20 magical years, Walt Disney World. And it has Mickey as a magician right there. There he is. And the castle with a 20 on it. 20 magical years. Also a limited edition. And then 10, which was the Tencennial. 10. Again, these are all limited editions. The Tencennial. Kind of plain, but it gets the point across. And then this is first anniversary, 1972. For the first anniversary of Walt Disney World. 1972. And this is also a limited edition. So they did have a special pin back then for the first year. Not the first year, but they had, I believe these went off of the cast members' name tags. These had a lot to do with the design of the cast member name tags. I know that. And then we have this one, which was 15 years. Walt Disney World. I like this one. 15 years. I like that Happy Mickey. And then we have this one, which was the America on Parade. I have a t-shirt that looks just like this pin. It's America on Parade. It's got Donald and Goofy and Mickey. I don't know if Pluto's on there or not. I'd have to look a little closer with my magnifying glass. I can't tell here. Let me pull up my magnifying glass to see if Pluto's on there. Nope. It's just the three. Mickey, Goofy, and Donald. Now, that pin is very nice. I really like that 25th anniversary pin. Then there were some special pins. They kept coming out with, this celebration went on for a long time, folks. I don't know if you remember. So they came out with the Cinderella Castle 1971 limited edition pin. And this is what it looked like. It has a 7-1 in that gold circle. And I will let you know, if you don't already, they are repainting the castle back to the original colors. All right, see ya. You guys have a great night. Appreciate you. That's Josh and Amy, everyone. We'll see you Saturday. So that was one of, and this one is also a limited edition. And I only got 3 of that series. I think the series was 6. I think I only got 3. This one I love. This is the Liberty Bell, which is no longer at Magic Kingdom. The Liberty Bell has retired. And this was has a 1971 stamp on there. Or 71, not 1971, 71 stamp. And then there was Country Bear Jamboree. I like this pin. Again, this is a limited edition also. Country Bear Jamboree from 71. I like it. I like its comic. There's Big Al. And these were $19.99. But then they came out with a really, really, really big set. And these were absolutely beautiful. And I don't know if they call them the Fantasyland set, but this is a Fantasyland pin, 50th anniversary. These were also limited edition. And this is Cinderella's Golden Carousel. Cinderella's Golden Carousel. So there's that one, and then we're going to leave that one there while I grab the next one. That way we're not looking at the dark. And the next one is Character Parade at Walt Disney World. Now these are going to be some characters you've probably never seen before at Walt Disney World. I know I've never seen these characters walk around Walt Disney World before. It's the 3 Little Pigs. Characters on Parade. 1971. I do have a poster above my head that does have the 3 Little Pigs in it. And it's an old poster. Yep, 3 Little Pigs. And then the next one, it is Mickey Mouse Revue. And it's Mickey Mouse Revue, and it's got Huey, Dewey, and Louie playing instruments in the background. Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Mickey Mouse Revue. And these came out. These are really pretty. These are really shiny, and they're all the same shape. And I know I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. And I think I have 7. I believe there was 12. So I do not have all of them. And the next one is main entrance. This is the main entrance to Walt Disney World in 1971. And there's Tinkerbell, the main entrance, 1971. The pin cards are very nice. And if I wasn't mistaken earlier, I was reading the back of the pin cards. The backs of the pin cards are really retro. And I have the Spirit jersey that's retro like this. It says Disneyland, Fantasyland, Liberty Tree, Liberty Square, and Tomorrowland, and Main Street. Yeah, they're all on there. So this is main entrance, which was Tinkerbell. And the next one is the Grand Prix Raceway. And the Grand Prix Raceway is with Goofy and Pete. I always called him Pig Leg Pete because that's how I remember him, Pig Leg Pete. Grand Prix Raceway, 1971. Excuse me. Hey, Neil, what's going on? Welcome in. And the next one is Peter Pan's Flight. This has got to be my favorite. Peter Pan's Flight. And I still like riding Peter Pan's Flight to this day. As long as the wait is not 120 minutes. Hopefully, let me get this out of here so I can refocus. There we go. It is a pretty pen. Peter Pan's Flight. And if you have Disney Plus, there's a lot of cool things about the 1971 opening on Disney Plus. And this is another popular pin that's also a limited edition, the Haunted Mansion. That's the Haunted Mansion and the hitchhiking ghost there. Look at that. All right. So we are actually going to take a break from this. I'm going to go back to the other camera. Sorry about that pop. And we're going to talk about some pin frames. So there were lanyards. There were even wide lanyards. And I think I have one behind me here. This is a Star Wars lanyard. Okay, and this one went around your neck. They were a little longer. Okay, and these were wide. So you could get a pin side by side on these lanyards. Okay, and then what I did is I retrofitted them a little bit different, and I put a ring at the bottom and a ring at the top. They were both together. They only had one ring on them, and they were stitched together at the bottom. But I took the stitching out, and then I hot glued a ring at the bottom and the top. And you could actually hang this. If you look in the background here, you're going to see a bunch of them right here. I have a bunch of them on my wall. You can hang them from one small little hanging nail and put a lot of pins on that. You can put a lot of pins on that. And I have some on my wall here too that you can see right here. One of my Mickey, you can see that's the mini one. That goes up, and then I have a Mickey one here. But you can display your pins a lot of different ways. Be creative. Retro lamps are great ways to you have a lamp in your room with a big old lampshade. great way to put on, you put pins on there and illuminate them. But yep, you could do that too. Hi, Patrick. All right, so let's talk about pin frames. Pin frame sizes. How do you decide how big your pin frame is going to be? If you have a lot of pins, you're going to have a lot of pin frames. You know, there's 20. Well, I've taken 2 down, so I think there's 21 on my wall right now. There used to be 23, and I still have many more. You saw all the pins we went through today. They're not on pin frames yet, and I'm going to put them on, especially 50th anniversary, because that was something very special. Let's look at some pin frames. I'll bring them up and show them to you. This was a basic picture frame. I switched it over and made it into a pin frame. It's got black velvet on the front. It's got the hangers on the back. You can hang it this way. It's got a hanger here, or you can hang it this way. I have one similar here. Okay. I had some pins on here at one time, and I was going to continue to use it, and then I took the pins off, and if I wanted to, I can go ahead and reuse this, but I think this one will go to the show with me. All right, and here's my tape measure. If you're wondering what size this would be, this is 23 and a half by 7.5. Again, it's black velvet with corkboard and a proprietary material that I use on the back that helps lock your pins in. All right. This one is 60. This one goes for $60. And I have got a couple more that are behind me. Then I find some really nice older frames that have some really nice detail to them. I clean them up, take the glass out. This is how the backs look, very clean. Now, when you get into these are a little bit heavier, okay? I don't put the hanger backs on here, only because I don't know how heavy your pins are going to be. So you would just have to go to the store and get the configuration things to put on the back of your frames. Why is that shining right in my face? So you could put those on here, okay? And do that yourself. That's Lawan wood behind that contact paper that I have there. And this size is, I call this antique gold. This is 8.5 by 18. So 18 across by 8.5. You can hang it this way, or you can hang it this way. And this one is $85. Then I go to a bigger board. Here's a bigger board. Detail is a little different. I try to pick some stuff that I would like to put pins on. Okay. If you're interested in seeing some of my pin frames, give me an idea, how many pins you have, and I'll give you an idea of how many. I mean, I have a frame I'm looking at right now that all my pins aren't real close, and the Mickey frame that we looked at earlier, this one here, there's a lot of pins on this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 30, 31, there's 34 pins on that one. So you put them real tight, you can fit a lot on there. This is called, this one here, I'm sorry, you couldn't hear me. This one here is called, let me turn it right side up. This is called Black Gold Black Deluxe. And this is 18 by 12. And this is $120. Only because it looks really nice. And on the back, okay, you have your four corners, and your four corners are raised out, and they have black velvet on them. Okay, so when you put your hanger on here and this touches your wall, it won't scratch your wall up. And again, Lawan, I use Lawan on everything. Yep. So if you're interested, reach out. I'm going to show you one. I got another one here. Where is it? I'm looking for a couple more boards I have right here. Okay. So, and then I have some simpler boards. This one's a little bit more simpler. Okay. And what I've done with this one is I've painted it a pewter and gold. And I had some pins on that too. I had my Muppet pins. I had all my Muppet pins I had on here. And I only have like 2 or 3 left. And I sold those on my Whatnot. And that's black velvet. And this one did have a hanger on it because I had my Muppet pins on there. So I can take this with me. Pin, yeah, I absolutely. You're absolutely right, Theo. You know, pinboard space is always running out. Something like this would probably be around $55, $60, this size. And I believe this is like 10 by 10. I'm currently working on a shadow box behind me. This one here is, I think this one's 60. And this is I'm doing a size. This is a 8 by 10. This is a 8 by 10 bronze. 8 by 10 bronze. And this has like a wood grain to it. You see the wood grain. And then I painted it myself. And these are 60, I think 60 or 65. I'd have to look this one up. And then again, there is wood right there. And then the contact paper is over the wood. And you would just put your little things here with your wire across. And then you could hang that this way or hang it this way. And one thing I started doing that did really well at the Big Pin Show. Look at that. Does anybody know what that is? Mark Twain. I go to heaven for the climate. I go to hell for the company. Mark Twain. Smoke cigars. This is a cigar box. And what I've done is I've repurposed it into a pin box. Jennifer's like, I knew what that was. So what I did is I recessed the bottom. The bottom is recessed. So some of the pins that we have are pin on pin. Like this Disney pin here, I'm going to show you. It is a pin on pin. It has a pin flat and then has a piece of a pin on the front. That's called pin on pin. So what I did is I recessed the inside, and you take your pin and you can put your pin wherever you want on it. And then you can take another pin, and what we'll use is this pin trader pin that I have, pin trader pin. And I'm going to put it directly over top of it. Okay, so now your pins are in your pin box, and then when you shut it, they don't touch because I recessed the bottom. So this could be sitting on someone's desk in their office. Somebody would come in and go, oh, you have cigars, and open it up. I like this one because it's Mark Twain, reminds me of Tom Sawyer Island, and then you open it up and you have your pin display. This is the Mark Twain. It's called a double because you can put pins on top and on the bottom. And this is 7¼ inches by 8¼ inches. And this is $60. So, and I've made quite a few of these cigar boxes. This one, it was a super shiny cigar box, and I really liked the way it looked. I loved its color and everything about it. It's a wooden box. I loved everything about it. And it says St. Louis Ray cigars. Has a really nice sticker on the front. And again, I turned it into a pin box. And pins on the top, again, recessed at the bottom. And it sits on someone's desk. You open it up, and your pins are displayed. St. Louis Ray. I sold, I think, 2 or 3 of these at the last pin show that I did. And this is 6½ inches by 8½ inches. And this is also $60. Most of my cigar boxes, I believe almost all my cigar boxes are $60. I have one more to show you, which is a much thicker box. And it's a Tabique Especial. Okay, and you open it up. And the cool thing about this, it has this little chain right here on the end. And it holds your lid up for you. And again, this is a double also. It's a double pop. You can put your pins on the top, put your pins on the bottom. The bottom is recessed. And this is 7¾ by 7¾ by 7¾ no, it's not. It's 7 by 7¾ I couldn't read it upside down. There you go. And 2 up top and the bottom. And this one is also $60. So if you like any of these and you're interested in seeing any of them, do me a favor, reach out to me on Instagram, drop me your email. I'll send you some pictures out to you with pricing. Again, it's as little or as much as you want. I got another one here. This one is Black Silver Modern. This is 14¾ by 12¾ and this is a little bit more modern. It's called Black Silver Modern, again with the black velvet. And on the back, the wand, and it's secured. And this one is $75. And again, this size is 14¾ by 12¾ and if you like something a little bit more modern. And then I have one more to show you. Stay. Which is much bigger. And I have many more that are already finished. This one is called Bronze Gold Black. Bronze Gold Black is 15½ by 15½. And this is $115. So different sizes for a different amount of pins and different styles. So what I try to do is when I send the pictures out, I try to give you a nice corner shot of what it looks like. I give you a distance shot, and I definitely give you a back shot. All my pin boards have Lawan wooden backs, so they're secure. What you can't see are the framing screws and fixtures that I use on the back to keep them intact. That way you can push on this and it won't push through the back of your frame. So, and that's what I do. Yeah. I collect pins. I have my Whatnot channel and I sell pins and I make pin boards and I collect a bunch of other merch. But keep an eye out on my Whatnot because it's going to be getting busy. I also have a Mercari page. And what is my Mercari page? Let me look for a second here. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate that. My Macari page. I don't remember the name of my Macari. Well, that's something. Sam. That's my Macari. SAM. So if you're looking up something on Macari, just type in Sam and it'll bring up everything that I currently have on my Macari. And I'll be adding to that. So yeah, heck, the small Mickey head shape one from Disney. Yeah, that's a good point. Thanks, Katie. So, and there's a new one out. There's a new one coming out. So there was a Stitch one that came out last year. There was one that came out for the 25th anniversary. And they are about this big. And they're cork. And they have the nice decorative things on. I think Stitch had two little hands that came out that would hold your lanyard. And I believe the Mickey one did too. But they're expensive. And I think actually, Katie, I think they're more like $49.99. Yeah, I think they are. I used to have them in my phone, but I just got tired of looking at it, and I literally went in the stores and took pictures of them. They're pretty expensive. They're like $50 a piece, and they'll hold probably 25 to 30 pence. To where these are much bigger and will hold more. But again, it's all what you like, So again, I started making them for myself, and I'm like, well, if I'm making them for me, I know other people have to be able to display their pins. My friend Richard, the Figment pin guy, he has a whole wall in his hallway. I believe it's in his hallway, and it's covered with Figment pins. Richard, the Figment pin guy, if you don't know him, check him out on Facebook, check him out on Instagram. He's a good friend of mine. He has every Figment pin that's ever been made, every Disney Figment pin that's ever been made, every single one. And there was three or four more just released for Food and Wine, and he got all four of them, and he's already placed them on his wall. So check that out. But yeah, and if you know somebody that's just getting into pin trading, or you want to talk about pins and how do you know a good pin from a bad pin, there's so many. I know, and I'm just doing this at a whim, Katie. So let me. All right, so there's Heather. All right, let me look through Messenger. There is a Disney pin. Let me look here. Well, Richard's on there. Richard Summer. His name's Richard Summer, so you can follow him. He's got 10,000 people following him on Facebook. So you can check him out. He's got a plethora of information. There's also some, let me type in here, Disney pins. There's a Disney pin trading group. I would definitely check that out. Pin HQ has one. There's a couple other ones out there. Just check them out. Richard, on his group, he really teaches people everything there is to know about pins. We have these microscopes that we use. You put your pin, you turn it on. You put your pin underneath the microscope, and then it magnifies it so we can actually see, what's going on and everything there is to see about the pins. It really magnifies it. That's how we keep track of, scrappers and good pins and bad pins. Or it's these counterfeiters are fast. Mickey Disney pins already have the triple diamond Mickey on the back, and they're already starting to be, how do you say it? Duplicated. But they're not good. You gotta know how to spot the fakes. It's hard. But it's, it's interesting. It's like any other hobby. What's going on, Lawrence? Welcome in. How are you? Park Bros in the house, everybody. Yeah, so check it out. And again, we're going to be doing some more pin shows, some more frame shows, So if you're in the local area, definitely check us out. The Figment Pin guy and Richard and his family run that, and they actually work with Pin HQ, and they're going to be doing a show, I believe, in April. So it's going to be fantastic. So pin trading is a bunch of fun if you like it. If you have any questions, reach out to me. You can comment on here. You can comment on Instagram, reach out to me on Facebook. And that's pretty much it. I mean, my collections, I know my collection was over 10,000 and it's gotten a little smaller since I started doing some sales on Whatnot. But again, if you're not familiar with what Whatnot is, it's a 24-hour streaming site that it just has auctions, auctions anywhere from shoes to brushes to retro to albums, 45s, LPs, hats, shirts, dresses, Disney pins, everything. So good night, Regina. You're very welcome. Thanks for coming in and being with us. I appreciate you. Thanks so much. And you know, it's again, everybody has a hobby. So you collect, I don't know, you collect Hot Wheels, collect Matchboxes, collect baseball cards, Pokemon cards, you're going to find all that on Whatnot. So check us out. Check us out. Have some fun. I'll be doing a stream. I'll be doing definitely pins, and I'm going to be doing a lot of Disney merch coming up. And again, on the word Sam, S-A-M, on Macari. Check me out. And I've got a bunch of stuff listed on there. So just want to say thanks, guys, for coming in and catching up with us. We have some friends coming in from out of town, up from one of those northern states. Hopefully they'll leave all that cold weather up there when they come in tomorrow. So we hope. And we hope they have safe travels. And, you know, reach out to somebody you haven't talked to for a while. And we always say this, you know, sometimes we miss our friends and sometimes we just have to reach out and say hi. I know I'm in a group chat with a bunch of my buddies and we say hi all the time. And it's just good to let them know that you're thinking about them. So reach out to somebody and say, hey, I was thinking about you today. What are you up to? And they'll be glad that you did. And I am Chris. I'm the Disney Baker. And and again, Theo reminds me, Baker, you need to get baking. Yes. The baker's going to get baking. There's no doubt. It's coming. And what other thing I wanted to talk about was in and gone. Boom. I was thinking about something else. Nice seeing you too, Neil. Appreciate you. Don't. Thanks, Katie. Anyway, so yeah, just reach out to somebody and say hey. And I appreciate you. And TTFN, ta-ta for now. Peace, love, and pixie dust hugs. And pixie dust hugs will have to do until we meet in person. I am Chris, the Disney Baker. This is the Pin Layer. And maybe next time you see me, we'll be in the baker's kitchen. So maybe not. Maybe I'll be in a park. Who knows? Keep those notifications set so you know when I'm going to be somewhere. I am Chris, the Disney Baker. We'll see you next time. Thank you all so much for being here. All my moderators, thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. My membership, all my members, thank you so much. All my subscribers, thank you. Check out my shorts. I've been putting out some really cool shorts, and I think they're funny, but you know, check them out. Some are serious. Not many, but some are. So check them out. And remember, always hit that like and subscribe. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.